everyone, my name is Mark Opsel. I'm a channel sales specialist here at Bluebeam Software, and I'm excited to show you some of the new features that are coming out in Review 12. To start, I'll share just a little bit about Bluebeam. For more than a decade, we've been developing innovative software solutions that enable professionals to collaborate digitally, with our ultimate goal being that we want to help our customers do what they do better. As a company, we continue to play a central role in the AEC, oil and gas, and other technical industries. And Bluebeam Revu has really become the industry standard as we focus on providing smart, simple solutions that facilitate digital workflows, such as design review, bids and estimates, RFIs, submittals, field inspection, site management, punch, closeout, and more. Now, with each release of Revu, we typically have a theme for that year. This year's theme is Field Ready, Anywhere, Anytime. So in Review 12, with that in mind, we're including the SketchUp Pro plugin. SketchUp Pro 2013 users can now export any model to a 3D PDF and view and manipulate the model right within the Review interface. With Review 11, we introduced AutoMark, which allows you to automatically generate page labels and bookmarks from a region on your sheets. Now with Review 12, you can create page labels and bookmarks with multiple regions in the PDF and also add text, such as prefixes, suffixes, and symbols. In Review 11, we introduced sets, which allows you to view individual PDF sheets as if they were a single document in a single tab. Sets 2.0 adds enhanced navigation capabilities, along with compatibility with studio projects. Batchlink automates the process of creating complex navigational hyperlinks for your plan set. We also are offering measurement tool enhancements, such as being able to calculate length, area, volume, and wall area in a single measurement. And now you can also calibrate for horizontal and vertical scales. Smart Group allows users to view each element in a group within the markups list and make edits without having to ungroup them. Also, subtotals will be automatically calculated for measurement annotations. In Capture, one of my favorite features, allows you the ability to embed a photo gallery into any markup. You can also scroll through the images, add, delete, or export them. And there are even more features added to Review 12. There have been a variety of studio enhancements, such as studio session administrators can now grant full control to trusted attendees, and you can now browse to files stored in studio projects through Revu's document management toolbar. PDF forms containing static XFA technology can now be viewed, filled out, and saved within Revu. Reduced file size has also been revamped for improved performance, along with a new user interface. OCR Plus in Revu Extreme offers significant performance improvements to large format drawings specifically. In Review 12, the headers and footer settings are now saved with your document, allowing for easier editing and updating as revisions and new pages are added. So, what are the key differentiating factors between Bluebeam Revu and every other software on the market, every other PDF software on the market, that is? Well, we have an intuitive interface that's extremely easy to use and understand. Really easy to use markups to drop on the page really quickly and very intuitively. The innovative tool chest keeps users from doing redundant work and saves them a ton of time. The advanced markup tracking list is going to save metadata from all of your markups and give you the kind of information that you need about every markup. And real-time collaboration with Studio. That's going to allow you to collaborate with your colleagues in real time in a cloud-based solution on a variety of documents from anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection. So with that in mind, let's see Review 12 in action. So I'm going to go ahead and press Escape on my keyboard right here. And as you can see, we were in Review that whole time. Review offers a variety of plugins for the Microsoft Office suite, such as plugins for Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. This, for example, was a PowerPoint presentation that I made earlier today that I, with one click, converted to a PDF. Now, this is the interface in general that I was talking about. As you can see, there's a lot of screen real estate. There are a few icons at the top in a familiar area, and we can go ahead and navigate those very, very easily. This, however, is what's called the simple profile. It's for people who really want a lot of screen real estate and not a lot of icons. It's totally a personal preference. I, however, like a different profile. This profile works better for me. It's called the design profile. Now, the design profile is going to add a lot of icons that I can go ahead and click. And so the design profile has a variety of icons that I can select from to edit and mark up documents. As you can see, I have icons on the right here, and on the top, we can go ahead and customize this profile however we like too. So I can go ahead and add a toolbar up there if I like, We can also go ahead and right click. Right click, incidentally, is going to be your best friend in Review. It brings up the context menu and tells you exactly what you can do wherever you are in Review at that time. So I'm going to go ahead and add the document management toolbar. This document management toolbar allows me access to both ProjectWise and SharePoint directly from within Review. We don't have to leave the software in order to access files in those programs. There's direct integration. So I'm going to go ahead and move this icon bar right back down here because that's where I like it. And I'm going to right click and remove this document management bar that easily. And if I have a profile that I really, really like, I can go ahead and export this profile to one colleague or as many colleagues as I like anywhere in the world. All they need to do is double click that file and it'll load right into Review for them so everyone can get on the same page. So right here we have panels on the right, on the bottom, and on the left of the screen. Now, on the left here, we have file access. That's what this function is that I have open right now. File access is a really cool way to pin files that you use on a regular basis directly into Review so you don't need to navigate out of Review in order to access them. I've pinned a couple documents right here that I use on a regular basis that I'm just going to open with one click. Now, Review has what's called intelligent navigation. So depending on what kind of document you have open, it's going to change the way you navigate that document. For example, this is an 8.5 by 11 document, so Review is going to take my scroll wheel on my mouse and make it function so that it goes up and down. Also, I can click and drag up and down this document. Because it's an 8.5 by 11 document, Review understands that it's meant to be read from the top to the bottom. However, in a large format document like A201 here, we can go ahead and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out of this document. We can click and drag around it, and it's just a really great, easy way to get around a large format document. If you've used AutoCAD, you're going to be very familiar with this kind of navigation. So we understand at Bluebeam that users often want to view multiple documents at the same time. So for that reason, we developed split screen. In split screen, we can do with this split vertical button here. And then it opens up a copy in the other screen of what you're looking at currently. But because of tab navigation right here, I can go ahead and click right on concrete. And now I can look at this plan sheet and go through. And then if I have any questions about specific specifications, I can go into my concrete spec sheet and look up and down and see where those answers are. Additionally, if I have another question that I need to go to the internet to answer, I don't have to leave Review. We can just go ahead and split our screen horizontally, right click using our context menu that I talked about earlier, select Web tab, and now we're in the internet, or we're on the internet and we're ready to go. So I can go ahead and search Bluebeam, and now that website comes right up for me, and I never had to leave Review. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, and close this window as well. And incidentally, with splitting screens, you can split your screens up to 16 times. So I know that's not very practical on a laptop, but if you're in a plan room with a 60-inch plasma screen TV, and you're looking at a lot of revisions and a lot of large format documents, being able to split your screen up to 16 times is a really huge advantage. So another really cool feature in Review is the compare documents function. If you haven't seen this, it might just change your life. So I'm going to go ahead back into my file access, and I'm going to open one more sheet. It's a revision sheet of A201. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Document and Compare Documents. That's going to let me select the two documents that I have open. I'll click OK, and Review is going to look at those two documents on a pixel by pixel basis and open a third document that clouds all of the differences between those two documents. As you can see, this area here, there's been a prep dish dry storage area added. This wall has been moved forward a little bit. And there's even a little change here with the doors that Review recognized. This is a great way to save time doing when you're going through revisions of documents, trying to find changes between them. So I'll go ahead and close out that revision document there. I don't want to save it because I'm never going to use that again. And so now I have this A201 revision document open. So now I'll show you a little bit about kind of how easy it is to drop markups into a document in Review. So there are a few ways you can do it. There are actually three. Users can go ahead and click markup and then say text box. Add a text box right here. All right, text box. And as you can see, I spelled text wrong. But luckily, Revu has a built-in spell check, so I can go ahead and right-click that, change it right to text right there. We can also use the icons along the side of the profile here to use markups. So I'm going to go ahead and click this highlighter tool. And the highlighter tool is what we call an intelligent markup feature. Is what we call an intelligent markup because it can do freestyle, or it can also recognize text and highlight that text wherever it sees it. So really cool way to utilize the highlight markup feature. We can also utilize hotkeys in order to drop features on a page. So right here, I have a freestyle pen tool. I can go ahead and click shift and do a straight line. We can do that straight line vertically, horizontally, and it's a great tool to utilize for those kinds of markups. Now, a real world scenario of utilizing markups is looking at a mullion spec. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and click my C hotkey for cloud, and I'm going to click Q for call out, and I'm going to say revise mullion spec. Now, historically, this particular markup would either link to another page with the mullion spec there, or the mullion spec would be in a completely different document, or maybe it wouldn't even be associated at all. Maybe it would be just up to the subcontractor to find that information themselves. But now, with Revu, we can go ahead and click I for image, and I can go ahead and drop that mullion spec right into the document. So the subcontractor or whoever's revising that mullion spec can see immediately what that image is, what that specification is, and do their job super quickly and much more efficiently than historically it has been done than previously done. So one of the things I like to do with my markups is change them to different colors. I don't really like red markups. They remind me of school and having my papers marked up in red. So I'm going to go ahead and change these markups to blue. There are a couple different ways I can do this. I can go ahead and click the markup and change the text using this tool right up here. All of these tools up here allow me to change the markup colors and features and properties. So that's one way to do it. I, however, am going to right-click that markup and click Properties, open up the Properties panel right here, and that's going to let me change other properties in the markup as well. So I can go ahead and add a fill color, add a blue outline. I'll go ahead and change this cloud too while I'm at it. I'll go ahead and change that to blue with a similarly blue fill color. Great. So now that I have the color scheme that I like, I'm going to, actually, before I move on, I'm going to make this cloud highlight colored. So now you can see what's under the cloud. Makes sense, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close the Properties menu. And one thing that I want to note before I move on is that it's annoying to change the colors on markups all the time. No one wants to put down a markup and then have to change the colors every single time, which is why we have the tool chest. The tool chest is a great way to utilize the markup that you've already created and already used, and will save those settings for those markups. In recent tools is like a cache in your internet browser. It's going to erase all the recent tools that have been used after every review session. But no problem, you can go ahead and click and drag those tools right into My Tools or any other tool set that you've selected and save them forever, and they'll never move. So in recent tools, as you can see, I have my cloud right here, which I can go ahead and save for later use, so I don't need to change the colors on that. We also have the call out that I drew before. Now, I'm not going to say revise mullion spec every single time I do a call out. That's ridiculous. So I'll go ahead and double click, as you can see there, that tool or that markup icon, and that's going to change to properties mode. And properties mode means that I can use those same exact properties to write anything that I want in this box. So that's just one way that the tool chest really saves you time when you're doing markups, when you're making markups, when you're working with the document, and also it's great for saving different symbols and tools that you've used historically that you might want to use at a later date. Tool sets can also be customized and exported to other users. So if I have a team member who doesn't have the certain symbols that I have in my symbol library, I can just go ahead and send that tool set right to them, and he or she can go ahead and double click that file and it'll load right into Revu. They don't have to do anything special with it, just double click it. So that's the tool set. The tool set's a really neat feature that we can utilize within Revu. We also have another feature that's really fun that the tool set utilizes called Snapshot. And Snapshot, I'm going to go ahead and press the hotkey G for Snapshot. That's going to take this toilet image. Now, as you can see here, that toilet has been added to my recent tools. So what we can do now is we can click on that recent tools and put toilets in wherever we like into this document. We can also add that to my tools, and now it's given a hotkey. So I can go ahead and drop those however I like, as many as I want. So the snapshot tool, another great way to create symbol libraries for your workflow. So that's kind of the markups. That's the tool chest, the key differentiating features. I haven't gone through them too intricately, but I just wanted to show you kind of a brief overview of them. Now we'll go into the markups list. The markups list is a great way to track information about your particular markups. So the markups list is like having a review right in Excel. I can click filter, and we can go ahead and filter our markups by whatever was clouded. So now all I see is the clouded markups, and every other markup has been grayed out. If I want to jump to that markup, I can go ahead and click on the particular markup in the markups list. And regardless of where I am on the page, I'm going to go over here. It'll take me right back to that markup if I click on it. Very useful, very handy. So another really neat thing you can do with the markups list is create summaries. So if I have a subcontractor who needs to check that mullion spec, for example, I can just go ahead and click PDF summary. I will append it to the current PDF. I will save the hyperlinks of the markup. I'll click OK. And now Revu is going to create a PDF summary of all of these markups and create essentially a task list for whoever I send this to. So now, if I go over here and see these random markups that I made, I'll choose this cloud here. We have all the data about the cloud, who made it, when it was made, that sort of thing, what page it's on. But also it links right up there to the document. So if I'm going through there and I need to revise a number of mullion specs, I can click on that summary and go immediately to that particular markup. So that's the markups list in Revu. Very useful tool. Now the last component of the differentiating features that I talked about was Bluebeam Studio. Bluebeam Studio has kind of two flavors. It has Studio Sessions and Studio Projects. Studio Projects is like a light document management system. You can store an infinite number of files in there of any file type. And it's really just a great way to store files for any number of projects that you may be working on. Studio Sessions, however, is that real-time cloud-based collaboration piece of Studio that I wanted to show you about. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Revu 12, and that's going to go ahead and take me right into the Studio session where it looks like some of my colleagues have been marking it up. Now, I created this red markup the other day, and I know I just said I don't like red markups, but I was doing it on the fly. So I go ahead and click this red markup right here, and I can move it around. I can do whatever I want with it. I can even change the wording. I'll make that a statement instead of a question. But my colleague here who commented on this stair, I can't do anything with their markup. I can't change it, I can't alter it, and I can't do anything with it. We really do that so that we have optimal accountability in these studio sessions. We're working on this document actively. We're asking each other questions. We're moving things around, changing things, marking it up. We don't want anyone to get confused about who did what. So one of the ways we make sure that all of those actions are accounted for is the record right here. And the record is going to store all of the actions that are performed in the studio and also works as a chat window. So when we're all done doing these markups in Studio, we can go ahead and click this button right here, and this will create a report for Studio, for the Studio session where we were. Excuse me. So this will create a report for the Studio session where we just were. That includes all of the actions that were performed, which documents were added and deleted, who participated, and any chat conversations that happened. So I'm going to go and click OK. That'll generate as a PDF package report. I'm going to save it to my desktop for later use. And now we have this file here. This contains all of the documents in our Studio session. You can have up to 500 documents in a Studio session. They must be PDFs, but you can have up to 500 of them at any given time in a particular session. And this record here, that's going to show us everything that was said, everything that was done, everything that transpired in that studio session. Another neat thing about this report is that you can link particular markups that are stated in the report directly to documents. So as you can see, I just clicked on the reported markup and it brought me immediately to the particular markup that I clicked on. So that's studio sessions in a nutshell. All of these features were covered very briefly, very quickly. So if you ever have any questions about those, feel free to reach out to me. So now, without further ado, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the new features in Review 12. The first thing I want to show you is the SketchUp Pro plugin. So I'm going to leave Review for just a second and go into SketchUp Pro. And now I'm going to open up my Pasadena City Hall SketchUp document. So here we go. As you may know, Bluebeam Software is headquartered in Pasadena, California. This is our beautiful city hall. If you're ever in the area, I highly recommend that you check it out. So right now, this is somewhat static. I can't mark this up. I can't do anything with it. But due to popular demand, we created a SketchUp Pro plugin. So now I can go ahead and take this document and click Export 3D Model, select PDF, would be PDF right there, click Export, and that's going to go right into my Bluebeam Revu session. And there you have it. So now I have the Pasadena City Hall right here in Review, and it acts just like any other 3D model within Review. I can go ahead and do whatever I like with it. I can go ahead and move these trees, for example. Click the transport button. Move that over there. We can also perform callouts. So if I want to make a comment about this dome, I can go ahead and cloud it, and add a callout about that. Say, paint this dome gold. That would look really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and make that callout. I'm going to press Escape. And like any other 3D PDF in Review, we're going to get a markup indicator there. That's going to make sure that the 3D PDF isn't cluttered at all, and also will bring us right back to the view where we were when the markup was made, so they're very clear. Also, with this SketchUp Pro plugin, like I said, this document or this image works just like any other 3D PDF in Review. So I can go ahead and add a section box, and we can go ahead and push in on the page if we like, on the image. We can go ahead and push it on the top too. So a lot of different functionality with the SketchUp Pro plugin. So that's the SketchUp Pro plugin. Really cool feature, very useful and by popular demand. So if you ever use SketchUp Pro, this is a great option for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and close out of SketchUp Pro. I'm also going to close SketchUp Pro here too, just to unclutter my screen there. And let's talk about AutoMark 2.0 a little bit. AutoMark 2.0 is a great way to label your documents based on a particular title or name in the drawing set. So right here, as you can see in the thumbnails tab, my sheets are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going all the way down to random titles. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to use this drawing number to give my sheets new file names. So I'm going to go ahead and press Page Region, click Select. I'm going to select this whole area right there. And unlike Review 11, Review 12 will let me add other regions of this page. So I'll go ahead and add that. And I'm also going to add a suffix just to indicate what project we're working on. So I'll go ahead and add that apply that to all my pages. As you can see, Review has created page labels for my entire set in a matter of seconds. Even better, your customers don't need to run OCR to perform AutoMark. AutoMark 2.0 works with files that contain non-searchable text, such as scans, to get your PDFs in order regardless of how they're made. As a final step, you can easily extract each sheet as its own PDF file, and you can use these page labels to add a name to each of these files. As a final step, you can easily extract each sheet as its own PDF file, and you can use the page labels you created to name each file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select all of these pages by clicking Shift. I'm going to click Extract Pages. I'm going to use the page label to name those files. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to select the folder where I want those files to land. I already had a page in there with the same name because I did this presentation earlier today. And now, when I open that file up, you'll see that all of those pages have now been extracted as their own file. Now that we've extracted our files, let's talk about sets. Sets gives you the flexibility to keep your files light and lean while simultaneously being able to view and navigate an entire set of plans as if it was a single document. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Sets tab right here. If this ever isn't appearing, you can right-click and select Sets this way as well. So let's put this workflow into action and create a new set. I'm going to click Modify Set right here. I'm going to add some files. I go into my extracted pages folder there and add all of these files for my new set. Open. I'm going to sort those by file name and page level. Click OK. Now I have a whole set right here I can access. To make sure that I have version control under control, I'm going to go ahead and add what's called a revision stack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click file name right here. I'm going to type in rev number sign, going to cross out old revisions, going to stack those revisions, click OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and add other revisions. So we're going to go in here and click on revisions. I'm going to add all of these new sheets to go over the old sheets in sets. Click open. And now, as you can see, any of the sheets with the same name that are newer are on the top of this stack. And if I click over, you can see the old revision, or the old version of that sheet, has been crossed out. It's a great way to make sure that you always have the most up-to-date and current revisions as a part of your sets. Sets 2.0 introduces a few enhancements as well, including the ability to view these files as a list as opposed to a thumbnail tab. This may not sound so exciting now because this isn't a very large set, but if you have a set of 250,000 documents, it's going to save you a lot of time and make things a lot easier to see. So you can go ahead and click this tab right there, and now it's a list. As you can see, our stacks still remain, so that is crossed out right there. So we can still see which sheets have new revisions and which sheets have old revisions. I'm going to go back to thumbnails though, because I like being able to see an image. Now that we have all of our page labels and we've created a set and we've put in our most recent revisions, let's go ahead and create a navigatable set of drawings that allow both office and field workers alike to quickly click to a reference sheet, elevation, detail, RFI, etc. The current process for hyperlinking looks something like this. You click hyperlink, highlight whichever number, letter, whatever that you want to hyperlink to. You go ahead and click open, select the file that you want to go to, select A100 right there, click OK. And now this link has been created. So that link's right there, and that's great. With Revu 12 Extreme, you can automatically link entire plan sets quickly and easily using the batch link tool. You can search your files, a folder, a series of folders, or even a set, and the Revu will analyze all of your documents and automatically create hyperlinks to the corresponding destinations. In this scenario, we will create a hyperlinked index sheet and link all of the elevation details in the set that we've just created. To search by sheet number, simply click page region. So I'm going to go ahead and click batch and link, and then current set. I'm going to link the current setup. I'm going to click select page region right there. I'm going to select the number on my drawing that I want everything to link back to. I'll go ahead and create link options there. I'm going to make all the links appear yellow. I'll click generate. And as you can see, all of these links have been created throughout this document, making it completely navigatable. I'm going to go ahead and click run. That's actually going to create the links. Incidentally, a customer called in recently with a plan set of 250,000 documents. We showed him batch link, and he said, that just saved me 3 months of work. So if you've ever linked up a large plan set like this, for a very large project, this is going to save you a ton of time. I'm going to go ahead and finish and close that out. So now I can go up here and select A201, for example, and that's going to bring me right over to page 201. There, I can go ahead and click in here, A300. I'm going to click on that. That brings me to page A300. This will bring me to page A700, and so on. So now I can click around this document sheet as much as I like. It's very easy to use and very easy to navigate. So that's BatchLink, Sets, AutoMark 2.0, very useful features for anyone who's using large document sets. So I'm going to go ahead and close out all of these files here just to make space for some other features I want to show you. And we're going to open up this A201 estimation document. So whether you're in an office or in the field, you're now ready to start your work. Your plans are organized, linked, navigatable, and field ready. Now let's say I'm a contractor. I need to do both a flooring and a drywall takeoff. The first thing I'm going to do is switch to my takeoffs profile. That's because the takeoffs profile has a lot of useful tools and icons right at hand that will be very useful to us while we're doing this takeoff. As a best practice, the first thing you want to do whenever you're in measurements or you're doing measurements is to calibrate the drawing. So I'm going to click on my measurements tool right here. I'm going to click calibrate. I'm going to take a known distance on the document. I'll take 6'8", 6'8". All right, so I'll go ahead and click on that there. And then I will measure a other known distance just to make sure that calibrated properly. And as you can see, 10 feet 5 inches, we have calibrated the document successfully. So with Revu 12, if I take one measurement, Revu automatically calculates all other related measurements, including wall area, and displays them in the markups list. So if I take a square foot area of classroom 103, that gives us a square footage of 699 square feet, which we can move over there by pressing the Shift key. And the markups list, we'll notice that the area has been taken, 699 square feet, perfect, but the wall area has also been taken simultaneously. That's because over here in the measurement tab, we've added a depth of 10 to the wall. Another really great feature within the new measurements tool is the center out measurement tool. So if we go ahead and check this icon right here, we can go ahead and select center radius. And now that's going to allow us to take a measurement going from the center out. This is a great way to look at the crane radius that you're using on a particular project. If you want to know how many cranes you might need, where they might need to go, this is a great way to estimate that. Another use for this center out radius is looking at the radius in an area in, say, an ADA compliant bathroom. So with this, we can go ahead and check the amount of space available and make sure that that bathroom is 100% ADA compliant. Now, those are just a couple of the measurement tools that we've added. One of the most exciting measurement tools that we've added is the ability to calibrate both X and Y axes, however you say that. High-speed rail document right here. And what we can do is we can go ahead and calibrate for both horizontal and vertical axes by saying store scale in page, great. And then we're going to separate the vertical scale. So right here, if I go down to the scale at the bottom, I can go ahead and calibrate my x-axis at 100. And I can go ahead and calibrate my y-axis to 10. All right, so now I have two scales calibrated right here in my document, and and now diagonal lines aren't a problem at all to take a measurement of. We can get accurate measurements of diagonal lines in documents with two different scales. The last feature I want to touch on is capture. Now Capture, I'll go ahead and open up a new document just to show you this. As the project moves closer to completion and the often painful process of punch and back check begins, Revu's new Capture tool makes it even easier to track and reference site conditions and issues that need to be addressed. Let's go ahead and complete our punch walk in real time by logging into a studio session and switching to our punch profile. I'm going to go ahead and log in to Studio and click on that right there. This is going to call up my A201 menu. I'm going to go ahead and log into my punch profile right here. That's going to give me a variety of punch symbols in my tool chest right here, as you can see. I'll go ahead and add DF. If we want to know what DF stands for, we can go ahead and click Detail. And I can see that DF means door finish. Damaged. Needs repair. Okay, great. So I'm going to move that over here, actually next to the door. Makes sense, right? All right, so I'll close that up. And I don't have a lot of pictures of doors, but just an example, I can show you how Capture is going to associate a variety of pictures with this particular markup. So if I click on this markup and right-click, bringing up my context menu, I can go to Capture, and I can take a picture of myself with the camera. We can throw that right in there into Capture. As you can see, this little camera icon just showed up. That's going to indicate that that's where my photographs are that are associated with this markup. We can go ahead and also add file images this as well. So if I have a picture of this damaged door in my files, I can go ahead and add those. Add some cracked stairs. I don't have a damaged door. Oh, this is a little more interesting. I'll add this damaged wall here. So I'll add that there. I can even add another one in. Go ahead and click From File again. Hit me over here. I'll add this other damaged wall. So now if I click on this camera tool, we can see all of the pictures that I've taken are associated with that particular markup. I can even delete them if they're terrible pictures like this one. So pressing Escape will get us out of that. And a great way to add a lot of visual information onto a document without cluttering it up. Once you have all these pictures, as I showed you before in that PDF summary, you can make a summary that includes these particular captured photographs. So if I go down here to my markups list, click Summary, I'll click PDF Summary, I'll make that a table style, click OK, and that's going to generate a PDF summary of this document along with the captured. This is a presentation I did the other day. You can see I have kind of a similar flow. This one I chose not to take a picture of myself because I was having a bad hair day. And right here, this is the example of the capture that we saw today. As you can see, door finish damage repair. It's really easy to see that visual information right there, indisputable, lots of it immediately at your fingertips. So that's really all of the features within Revu 12 that I wanted to cover today. There are a lot of other really cool features, such as the advanced OCR, the reduction of file size, the new headers and footers, and how those can be saved as templates and applied to different documents. If you do ever want to see those, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to do a demonstration of those. And otherwise, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.